Ready for a bedtime revolution? Efficacent Extreme has got you covered. It has clear oil infused with a calming essence of lavender and is a refreshing, cooling sensation. It's like a bedtime story for your senses, bringing an end to the saga of sleepless nights. Turn your sleep struggles into sweet dreams and say farewell to tossing and turning with Efficacent Extreme, because good nights shouldn't be just a dream.
Welcome to Sky Podcast.
Watch out for a new episode every Saturday. The eldest always has issues. Oh, you treat me the worst. I have to ask so long before I can get your permission or all these things. The second one is kind of aloof. Sorry, hindi ko talaga sila mag-gets. As the bunso, own world talaga siya.
Because nasanay ka kasi sa perfect world mo.
Ikaw, as the eldest, ano nga yung feeling na dinedate mo, youngest?
Hassle.
So, love, I went to the doctor yesterday, finally. Gosh. And
then lalaki talaga.
Lalaki talaga, I know.
Wala na talaga, hindi na nagkamali.
Hindi nagkamali. I told her, Doc, it's the second time that I've seen you and I'm already 5-6 months pregnant. And my mom just really wants me to ask if there's any way na nagkamali yung blood test. If there's any way na possible babae ba yung anak. And then so we did the ultrasound and she's like, no, the blood test is very accurate. And we did the ultrasound and the first thing that I saw was a male body part. So it's really a boy.
I remember the first time when we had Scotty, like intense tayo sa doctor. But now the third one, parang wala na tayong masyadong, mas relax na tayo.
The very first time I went to the doctor to see Scotty on the ultrasound, you went with me pa.
Yes.
And waited outside with me pa. And now I see all the moms out there with their husbands while waiting for the doctor. I had to wait for the doctor for 4 hours because there were so many people pregnant and having dragon babies apparently. And puro kasama yung husband.
Did you feel left out?
No, I didn't. I was like, thank God Slater isn't here. Because, you get a lot of work done. Parang iba na rin yung mentality ko. But I met this friend of mine who was having her first baby. And she asked me, oh my gosh, you're all alone. I'm like, yeah. I'm good.
It's okay. I've done this before.
I've done this before.
No, I remember when it was with Scotty, andun ako.
Yeah.
Like, all the way. Like, sometimes I would just, kasi at that time, COVID na hindi pwedeng, I remember I was just wait in the car in the parking lot.
Yeah, you weren't allowed. There's only like one
diba,
person
may
allowed.
Yun. Oh. And then si Sevi, from time to time, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Well, ito naman, the first time, kasama naman kita.
Yeah, because I forced you.
No,
I was like, you put this baby in my belly, you better go to the doctor with me.
50% hit rate. No, but yeah, dati it would be like almost every month or twice a month, nandun ka sa doctor. Ngayon, parang
the doctor knows me so well. She knows my history. So she's very chill with me now, which I feel like isn't just a doctor-patient thing with history. I feel like it's also a mother-child thing. Like,
yes.
Or a father-child thing. With the eldest, you're kind of super intense, right? Like,
yes.
With Scotty, it was all organic food and sliced everything. May plating pa tayo, love, when you were feeding him, remember?
Yeah. Completo. Everything by the book and everything.
Oh my God. The most intense thing that I can remember that I did with Scotty was having a notebook and recording all of the times he would poo, he would pee, he would sleep. Diba naka-timestamp yun?
Yes.
But that wasn't my fault. I didn't know that I had to do that. That was like our midwife.
So does this translate to how we are going to raise them in the future?
Definitely not. Because with Sevi, we're so chill. Like, we learn from our mistakes of Scotty, which is like, okay, wala palang perk to be intense. Like, you're just stressing yourself out.
No. Diba? Uso yun sa TikTok ngayon na parang I'm the eldest.
The middle child and the youngest.
The eldest, the middle child, and the youngest. So the eldest is like, ano yung
like, I always get scolded the most.
Sa akin
the
lahat
most
ng responsibility. Yes.
Yeah.
And the middle child, nobody cares. And then the youngest one is like, kahit konting ubo lang, like, ano nangyayari sa'yo?
Oh, or super spoiled. Diba?
Yes. Youngest child, Kryz. No, I'm saying na parang, is this like, sinasabi natin, okay, we're not gonna be as intense anymore because we have 3 kids. But syempre, first time for everything sa atin, si Scotty. Like, first time for him to be 3 years old, 4 years old.
Yeah.
Like, and then si middle child, si Sevi ngayon. Like, parang, we've seen that before.
You know what? It's funny because when I was looking at this trend online, the middle child rarely gets a time of day, right? Like, he doesn't even have a spiel. Like, he doesn't even have, like, the eldest one is, I get most responsibilities, and the youngest one is, I am the spoiled one, and the middle one doesn't even have a say. Like,
Yes.
he's just parang
floating.
kinat lang siya sa scene. It's so sad, and I keep putting it in my head na, I'm not gonna do that to Sevi.
Yes, but I see how the organicness of it, that it may happen. Because, for example, Scotty, first time to talk, like, whoa, talk. And then si Sevi, like, parang, okay. Like, parang, we've seen Scotty talk before. Sorry, Sevi, pero parang, ano ka, diba?
You're so mean.
It's, I think it's just a fact of life na parang, you get desensitized by it. And I don't know yet about the last one. We don't have a name yet. Let me finish. I don't know yet about the last one, but because we say it's the last one, sige, namnamin na natin lahat.
First of all,
I'm just looking forward.
First of all, yes.
Alam ko antay to sa'yo.
Yeah. Let me backtrack. First of all, yes. Scotty, everything was new and exciting, and it was also pandemic. We had nothing better to do than to stare at him and observe him and be proud of all of his new milestones. With Sevi, yes, honestly, to be honest, I also felt that way. Now, okay, it's not as exciting because I've seen it before, but I'm making a conscious effort to not let him feel that it's less exciting for me.
Yes.
So even though, honestly speaking, it was less exciting for me to hear him say mama, because, you know, I've heard it before. I know it's coming around this time.
Yes.
But I still made it a big deal. At least for him, at least for Scotty also.
Yes.
Na ma-feel niya na it's not wala lang.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's a conscious effort on my part because...
No,
I don't want him to be the
because you're aware of
I'm
this
aware.
syndrome already.
Yes. My
But-
sister, the middle child, likes to remind me that
Yes.
she is not special. So I always make it a point to make the middle child of our family feel more special.
Yes, and parang it's out in the open. Everybody talks about it. So we, as the parents of this generation, parang mas conscious tayo. Like, for example, si Scotty would be the super kulit and he can express his words, so kaya kanyang mag-grab yung attention. But because we know na, okay, si Sevi baka mabayaan, okay, let's spend more time with Sevi. Kaya natin gawin. My overarching thing is, our parents did not know that.
No.
So that's where we kind of like, ako, panganay, all the responsibilities on you or whatever. And I kind of feel that, and we can get into a deeper discussion about this.
No, tell me, how was it to be the eldest child, my love? I feel like you have a lot of resentment.
Hinanakit.
Yeah, that you always tell me up to this day.
No, it's not about resentment. It's about observing lang. Because the resentment I get, I understand that each and every one of us is different in a way wherein sa eldest, iba yung mga hinanakit. Sa middle child, iba din yung mga hinanakit. And for the youngest, I'm sure merong mga reklamo and merong mga no matter how our parents try, meron talaga tayong mako-complain about how they raised us.
Yeah.
It's either they loved us too much or they didn't love us enough and all these other things.
It's funny. I just want to break from that a little bit. I was talking to this woman who has children of her own, but they're all adults already, 20 plus na. And I was talking to her about, the perils of being a social media mom and putting your family online and all of this whole deep discussion, right? And then her takeaway from it was, because she works in the industry, she just said, Kryz, just put it this way. At the end of the day, no matter what you do, your kids will still hate you. And I was like, what? But I love them so much. How can they hate me? And they're like, yeah, when they're 12, they will hate you. Like, no matter what you do, it will happen. It's just nature. It's just part of life. And then after that, they're going to get over it and then you'll be friends again. Like, it's just part of life. So don't try to be perfect because no matter what you do, they're going to hate you.
Jaded na jaded.
Jaded na siya. Totoo ba? Ay, di ko alam.
We are on that journey pa, so hindi natin alam. But totoo, like, for me, as the eldest child, it was always a burden na, okay, you're going to be taking care of your younger siblings, ha? Even if it's like, we do that to Scotty, like, oh, make sure you love Sevi, ha? Make
Set a good example.
Yeah. We just can't help it, but parang, ganyan talaga yung direction, even though we don't try and we do our part. Meron talagang burden from the eldest child. Like, the eldest child understands sharing now. Si Scotty understands sharing. Si Sevi doesn't.
He does.
Dinidefend talaga niya. Okay, love. Okay.
You can see where my alliances lie.
No. Si Scotty, mas naiintindihan niya pag ini-explain mo. Si Sevi, mas hindi pa talaga. Like, no matter how we cut it, iba talaga yung maturity of someone that is 2 years older. So, si Scotty yung binibigyan natin ng responsibility of being able to understand the younger siblings. And this was actually my
Hinanakit, yes.
Like, bakit ako lagi ang nag-share? Bakit ako lagi ang nag-always give in?
Nag-understand,
nag-adjust. And bakit sa akin, nung nag-aaway kami ng brother ko, even although I felt like, kasalanan naman talaga niya, he grabbed the toy from me. Tumatawa siya.
I've heard this so many times. And then since he's talking about toys, I know this was like way in early childhood, but he's still not over it.
No, it's more of, now I understand where it's coming from. Because when Sevi grabs a toy from Scotty, palagi natin sinasabi kay Scotty, hindi kasi niya naiintindihan pa.
It's so deep.
Itong laughter ni Kryz comes from a true youngest child. Ito yun, yung kayang mag-manipulate ng parents.
Sige nga.
Like, Mommy, hindi ko pa siya alam. And I know of friends who are youngest child who know how to play the game of the youngest child na they actually take advantage of this.
Ganun ba ako?
I think so.
Oh my God, hindi talaga.
Itong mga laughters, an eldest child would not laugh like that.
It's just the laugh of a carefree person. O sige, bahala ka sa mga hinanakit mo.
No, it's the laugh of a youngest child who knows the game and who knows like, I can get away with a lot of things.
No talaga. It's just that
You say this no talaga, but when we talk to your eldest siblings...
Who is also on your team because they're eldest.
So,
and also, she's a little cuckoo, so you can't compare.
Si Kryz,
In denial din siya.
apat sila. So, first two were twins.
Ikaw na lang
First two were twins, then the middle child, si Jack. And then si Kryz. And then, itong mga excuse ni Kryz, palagi nila binabara. Si Kryz yung pinaka-liar sa lahat. Pinaka-victim,
No talaga.
Okay. Sige, explain your part.
Okay, my side is, they always have issues, right? They always have issues. The eldest always has issues. Oh, you treat me the worst. I have to ask so long before I can get your approval or your permission or all these things. The middle child is always forgotten. That she's forsaken. This is my family dynamic, ha? And me...
That's the meme.
Yeah, and me... I'm just like, bahala kayo dyan. I'm gonna do my own thing. That's me, the youngest child. And it's true because with my sister now...
You know what? That mentality, you can say, bahala kayo dyan, I'll just do my own thing. Because pinapayagan ka ng mag-do your own thing.
Exactly.
Kami, as the eldest, kami yung nagpipave ng way so you can do your own thing. Kami yung nagtitrain ng parents na, Mami, labas ako ha. Kami yung dumaan sa... Hindi, bawal yan. Hanggang sa na-desensitize na yung parents.
But you can also feel the intensity of this conversation. Yeah. Who is the relaxed one and who is the intense one?
Yeah.
I never said that I'm not thankful for the eldest child for paving the way. I'm just saying, this is the card that I was dealt with.
Yeah, that's why.
So I accept it. Thanks. Bye.
That's why sinasabi ko,
I'm not manipulating. I'm just happy.
Meron talaga. Ano sinasabi niya na parang, there were a lot of stories. I can't just point specifics, pero meron si Kryz na parang, bakit siya pinapayagan na mag-Paris? Kaya sa amin dati, lumabas lang ng bahay. Like, we had to ask permission 2 weeks before to go to the mall.
Yeah. And while that is all correct and true, and that is fact, it's not my fault.
I'm not saying it's your fault, but you're the ones taking advantage of it. So appreciate the path we paved for you.
Grabe. Grabe yung hate nila sa... Ako, just living my own life. Bala kayo dyan.
Jokes aside, nakikita ko lang talaga na you can't help it. Seeing how we are with our kids, naiintindihan ko yung parents natin, how they were, na ganito talaga ang mangyayari. You always have to treat the eldest child a certain way, and then the middle child a certain way, and the youngest one a certain way also, because that's just nature. Yung nakikita ko lang talaga. There's just a certain flow to it.
I mean, no, I totally get it. When I was at the doctor's office yesterday, she told me, Scotty, when he was born, especially at the time he was born, it was pandemic and, we couldn't go out and all the attention was on him. He's used to that. And then suddenly, this little brother comes along and like takes 50% of the attention. And he's like, wait a minute, this was all mine. Like, what's going on? So there's already that resentment from then on, even though like it's not really defined as resentment yet, but that's already a seed planted in his head that this guy is competition, right? Whereas the second child, Sevi, comes into the world already having to fight for the attention.
Yes.
He hasn't known any other world. He hasn't known a world where 100% of the attention is on him.
Yes.
So he's better adjusted, I would say. Now, when the third one comes along, I'm sure Sevi's gonna be so chill about it kasi alam na yung dynamic na yun eh. He knows it na. Yeah. But then my doctor was warning me, like, okay, Scotty is now gonna have 33.33% na lang attention. Kasi this other one's coming along.
So, nilagyan mo talaga ng 0.33.
Oh, ganun talaga. It's fast math. Just kidding. Yun. So parang she was just saying, and then she said, because you think that this is gonna be, because she doesn't believe me, which says, because you think this is gonna be the youngest child, prepare yourself that you're super gonna spoil this one. I'm like, Doc, no, I'm the youngest, blah, blah, blah. I know what it's like. And she's like, no, for sure you're gonna savor each moment because you think it's the last moment. She sees like a million patients, right? All the time. She's just like, across the board,
so
this is what
data.
happens. Yeah. Yon. And that doesn't just apply in like your generation. Like it's across the board talaga. Like with my sister's family, it's the same. Like the eldest child, she mirrors her mom exactly, who's also the eldest. And then the middle child, who nobody understands, mirrors my sister.
Why does nobody understand
they
the
have
middle
their own
child?
world. I don't know. It's the middle child. Middle child can relate. I'm sure, right?
Yes, I'm sure.
So sometimes my eldest sister talks to me and I'm the youngest and she says, you know, my middle child is like this, ganyan. And then I'm like, oh, bakit siya ganon? And then Jack, my sister, who's the middle child, comes in and says, no, I get it. It's because she's like this. Na-explain niya lahat. Gets niya. Siya lang nakakaintindi. So middle childs, they have this connection.
Kahit
like,
paano, hindi mo un-middle child si Sevi. No
I will try
the
my
effort.
best to not make him feel left out because that is the angst of my sister, who's a middle child.
But all the children has angst. Bakit si middle child yung i-fix natin?
I feel like the angst of my eldest sister as the eldest isn't that strong. Parang she's chill with it. The angst of Jack, my middle child sibling, is strong. Like, I don't want that to happen to Sevi. And me as the youngest, like...
yung youngest walang angst?
No, meron.
Wow,
meron.
you live life like
listen,
rainbows and roses.
Oh my God, you're so judgy. What is with it? Wala talaga akong sinabi sa'yo na masama. Ikaw talaga ang dami. Dami yung hinanakit.
Sa mga youngest
Grabe talaga. Anyway, my oldest siblings were super loved. Kasi if twins sila, isang babae, isang lalaki. So parang, oh, this is so new and it's like, God gave us both right away. I love them so much, blah, blah, blah. So lahat, tutor, horseback riding, like the works, they got everything. And then Jack. I don't know what to say.
See?
And then
like
me.
a true young.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't there, right? I just see the photos. And then when I was born, I never got to go horseback riding. I never got this private tutor. They didn't even tutor me themselves, my parents. It was just my yaya with me all the time.
Okay.
So that's also my aunt. They never picked me up from school. It was always just the driver. Like, all of these things. But, you know, it could be an angst of mine. But I'm happy for the freedom.
That was such a Victoria Beckham moment. It was just my driver. Alam mo yung sa Netflix na
Hindi ko alam, pero grabe. Lahat ng sinasabi ko, binibigyan ng malis. Grabe.
Meron kasing meme this happened, we were watching this, na parang interview si Victoria Beckham and then sinabi niya, oh, we came from a working class family, and then sumingit si
just
David
be
Beckham.
honest.
Just be honest. Be honest. Ano yung kotse? No, we were working. Just be honest. Rolls Royce. So yan sa'yo. May driver.
That's not at all related to our topic, but okay. Sige lang.
Gusto ko lang highlight yung pagiging ano mo.
Grabe lang yung angst na dadala niya sa akin. So let me ask you a question. What is it like as an eldest child who obviously is very angsty about it, dating a youngest child?
Hindi naman angsty. I'm just highlighting your privilege.
Okay. You guys heard it yourself, so you make the call.
Okay na. No, sa amin, growing up in a Chinese family, it wasn't said outright, but because you are the eldest child, you are the one trained na parang ikaw yung trained to be the most responsible one. So it's kind of like implied that you're going to carry the family business. You're
the heir to the throne, basically.
Hindi naman siya, it's not an heir to the throne in a way wherein it's given to you. It's more of like, you're the heir to the throne wherein you have to be the head of the family eventually. You have to make sure your siblings are, at least this is how I interpreted it. Your siblings are okay. Ikaw yung magtatrabaho ng family business. Ikaw yung magli-lead ng family business. And it's not in an entitled way. It's more of like a pressure kind of way. Yun yung feeling ko.
Okay, pero yung tanong ko, ano nga yung feeling na ikaw as the eldest, na madaming ang responsibilities, angst, etc. Ano nga yung feeling na dinedate mo, youngest?
Hassle. Sobrang hassle.
Wala talaga. Guys, rewind nyo. Magtali tayo. Wala talaga akong sinasabing mali sa kanya.
No, I think
Grabe yung angst niya talaga.
Because nasanay ka kasi sa perfect world mo. No, I think it's more of, I feel like there's a yin and yang between the two of us, wherein your strengths complement my strengths and your weaknesses complement my weaknesses. And I think if both tayo eldest child, there's going to be a lot of headbutting.
Okay.
I would feel na parang, I don't know, there's just an energy about the eldest child and the youngest child na mas swak tayo because we're like in different ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Sabihin na lang natin.
Because when you're hot, I'm cold.
Oh.
When you're so intense, I'm chill. And vice versa.
Yeah, and you're yes and you're no, you're in and you're out.
So ano yung trait na masasabi mo na you noticed in me as a youngest child na wife? Or like dating the youngest child? That's different from you?
Okay, how many minutes do we have? No, I think you tend to be a little bit more carefree. You tend to be a little bit more sure of yourself in a way wherein like, bahala kayo dyan. Yun, yung ganyan. Ako, I tend to be more calculated. I don't know if it's a Slater thing or at Eldest.
I feel like it's definitely an eldest child thing.
Yeah, calculated na parang, okay, what if this goes wrong? What if mas may paranoia?
I see that in my sister's kids all the time because they're like in the growing phases, right?
Yeah.
So the eldest one is always like
the one worrying.
Thinking about, are we on mom's schedule? Are we doing this on time?
Yes.
Are we like, following the rules? All of these things.
Because you're
She's
given
the one
that
who reports.
responsibility. Yes.
Yeah, and like make sure everyone is in line.
Oh.
The second one is kind of aloof. I'm so sorry.
Bahala kayo dyan. Oh, ikaw, I don't wanna hassle you with...
Hindi naman. Parang, sorry, hindi ko talaga sila mag-gets, pero basta. Tapos yung third, gets ko kasi ako yung bunso, di ba?
Ikaw yung inaalagaan. Like, for
Hindi
example...
rin eh. No rin. Grabe.
No.
Let me talk as the youngest child. You're always talking for me.
Okay, sige. Okay, I'm trying to understand.
Yun
okay.
na nga. So, listen. So, as the bunso, own world talaga siya. So, like,
Yes.
nasistress na yung ate niya. Nasistress na yung middle child. Hindi ko alam kung bakit.
Yeah.
Pero siya, bala kayo dyan. Ako, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna do this.
Yes.
Own world lang siya.
Yes, exactly. Kasi ikaw yung inaalagaan. When, let's say for example, your mom and dad lumabas, magde-date kami. Who do you assign the responsibility to? Okay, eldest child, please make sure everyone gets to bed on time, etc., etc. All the responsibilities is given to that eldest child.
Yun na nga.
And
Pero
then,
bakit si youngest child?
Si youngest child, hindi naman binibigyan
Bakit
ng...
yung middle hindi carefree?
Like, wala siyang pakialam. Pero ang inaalagaan, yung make sure ha, yung youngest child mo, yung sibling mo, yung babyest, he's safe. So ito yung hindi mo nakikita. I feel na.
I don't know why this
merong
is
pressure.
become a battle of eldest versus youngest. I'm just trying to say that this is how a youngest child is.
You were asking me kung bakit ganyan. Kasi you are able to be carefree because the responsibility was given
Hindi
to
ko sinasabi bakit ganyan. Sinabi ko lang na ganun talaga.
Oo, and I'm explaining kung bakit ganyan.
Gusto mo lang explain.
No, think of it with your sister's kids. Sino ang binigyan ng responsibility to do this, do that, and make sure the household is in order? The eldest, diba? And the youngest just doesn't care.
Yun na nga. Kaya in-explain ko na, the youngest is more carefree. Diba? Sinasabi mo, when you were dating me, I'm more carefree.
Yes.
Yeah. Which I acknowledge that I wasn't really given the same amount of pressure that my siblings got. Like, I remember every summer they had to work for the family business. They had to learn all of these things. And then when it was my turn to do the same thing and I was of the same age, they just assigned me to like, okay, just go in the gift wrapping section. Something fun. Yeah.
Kasi meron nang nauna doon na.
Yeah. I think also now as parents, it's also like, with Scotty, it's kind of like trial and error, right? Like, okay, if you don't do this, okay, so
Yeah,
this is the punishment. Or, okay, this punishment is too intense. Okay, so with Sevi, we don't have to punish him this way anymore. Because it doesn't work.
And then the last one,
the
we're
youngest was
over
like,
punishment. Bahala na kayo dyan.
Yeah, with the last one, it's like, I realize that no matter what I do, this child will not die. He's fine. Like, the world is not as cruel as I thought. And the children are more resilient than I thought. So, okay, you can live your own life. I feel like it's just kind of like that. It's a learning process always.
Diba? Para unfair.
Worrying about it. Grabe yung angst niya, hindi pa natapos.
Messing with you.
Grabe. Alam mo, sobrang swerte mo na ako yung asawa mo. Sobrang understanding.
Yeah. Because you're used
Sobrang
to it.
swerte mo talaga. Wala akong masabi.
Spoken like a true person who's the youngest child.
You can pin it on me all you want. I'm fine.
So, ikaw naman, love. What is your feeling na eldest child yung dinidate mo?
Ito,
ito
laging
na, time for you to
nag-understand.
shine.
Quiet lang ako. Kung gusto mo magalit, magalit ka. Bala ka dyan. Basta, happy pa rin ako dito. O, di ba? Get along tayo.
No, seriously.
No, seriously, I guess I don't take things as seriously as you, as the youngest child, because I was given that freedom growing up. Parang the world isn't such a scary place, or it's not too stressful, it's not too intense in my eyes. Like, nothing is too serious for me. Whereas to you, it is. So it's a nice balance, because at times when things need to be serious, then you're there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And at times when things can be a little bit lighter, then I'm here. I feel like that's kind of a nice balance between us. And also I see it like when we raise our kids, like you have your own angst, obviously. And sometimes like, okay, let's say Scotty grabs a toy and we're like, Scotty, don't grab a toy from Sevi, that's bad. And then Sevi grabs a toy and then you make it a point to like also tell Sevi, don't grab the toy because that's bad, just because you know it's gonna make Scotty feel better. So in a way, you're addressing your own trauma from the past already.
Okay.
And I see it. And it's a nice balance because as the youngest, na walang pake, hindi ko rin makikita yun, di ba? Parang life will just continue to be the same.
No, I just don't want it na palaging si Scotty yung nag-a-adjust palagi. So, even though I know hindi kaya ni Sevi mag-adjust, I just want Scotty to feel na parang we're not playing favorites. We're not playing na, it's
and then
just
you can see it in his eyes that when you call out Sevi, even though we just call him out like nicely, even though he doesn't get it, you can see it in his eyes like,
or like,
I deserve it.
Sevi, say sorry to Ahias. And it takes so long for Sevi to say sorry and sometimes he doesn't. Then, at least manggagaling na kay Scotty na, it's okay, Dad.
Yeah.
Yung at least lang ganyan. So may konting, at least I'm doing my part for all the eldest child out there.
Grabe yun. I didn't expect when we decided on this topic, I didn't expect na it would turn out like this. You were so like meh about it. Like, okay, whatever. And then I'm like, this is heated.
And
But your pits are sweating.
I'm just, hindi naman. Hindi naman. But yeah, it's more of, nakikita ko, even with the personalities of each child, I don't know if this is just because of genetics, but si Scotty tends to be a little bit more serious, a little bit more calculated compared to Sevi. I don't know if it's the age, it's the but nakikita ko yun ngayon pa lang. I mean, really, as much as I make jokes about it, I'm happy I'm the eldest child. The eldest child comes with a certain level of perks. The eldest child tends to be more in the leadership position. There's a certain confidence about being an eldest child, generally speaking. I just feel that might be true. But there's a certain carefreeness naman din on the younger generation. Like, they tend to be more candid, they tend to be more...
Younger generation or youngest child?
Youngest child or the middle and the, there's mas sila.
The rest of the... If you're not eldest, you're everybody else.
Diba?
Pero alam mo, if we had a guest, siguro yung buong conversation, mga angst niya about being the middle child.
If we had a guest,
diba?
the middle child.
Yeah. Because like now, when I post vlogs about, whatever, hanging out with Scotty and Sevi, whatever, like a lot of people always comment, like, I can see Sevi's middle child energy. And I have no idea what they're talking about. Right? So then they can see it already as early as age 1.
We should guess Jack.
Oh no.
Your sister. Your middle child sister.
Yeah, oh my god, she posted this reel once. So she was doing this kind of like arts DIY craft video thing.
Yes.
She put the tripod in front, the camera in front.
Okay.
And the whole time she was trying to explain to us like how to do this craft. But the whole time nobody was listening to her. The camera was recording and we just didn't. And so the eldest sibling was telling me what to do, like as the eldest. No, nobody asked her to teach me, but she was like, no, do it like this. You're doing it wrong, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like minding my own business, not listening to anyone. And Jack's just there trying to explain the rules and she's just like, give up, no one's listening to me. And I feel like when I watched that video, I just kept laughing because it was just so natural and it just explains so much what the dynamic is between eldest, middle, and youngest.
Oh,
right?
and the youngest just laughs.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is so true. But it's funny and it's part of life and it's nothing to take too seriously. But she, as a middle child, is angry about it.
But it goes to show how much life that we are not in control of Like, parang kahit papaano, kahit alam na natin that this is going to happen, hindi pa rin natin kontrolado.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there's like the eldest child, there's the middle child, there's the youngest. There's even aspects wherein only child. Oo.
Yeah.
Only son, iba
Only
din yun.
son, yeah.
Diba? Only daughter, iba din yun. So there's all these other factors that as much as we like to say that we have freedom, we have complete control of our lives, meron pa rin siyang those types of aspects.
Like, it's set in a way.
Analyze like a true eldest child.
How about love in your family? Because I keep talking about my family. You, as the eldest child, like, who did you get along with? Because I heard that there's kind of like this first child and third child get along the most, and second child and fourth child are the most similar. And
I think sa amin, mas hindi kami nag-shot into the meme. Sa family nyo, yun talaga yung meme.
Yeah, I know.
Yun talaga. Like, exactly to the dot.
Yeah.
Sa amin, merong mga nuances lang. I feel like, apat kami. So, me, then my brother, then 2 sisters. I feel like I'm always the black sheep. I'm always the one pushing.
always angry.
But, which is weird because sa'yo, sa family nyo, I feel like you're the black sheep. You're the one that's pushing the
I'm
boundaries.
the model child.
Ako yung nag-BBB. Ako yung like in a Chinese family na so super traditional, especially before the age of the internet.
Yeah.
Like parang it was like, wow, nag-artista siya. Parang
that doesn't
ang layo.
happen in a Chinese family.
Ang layo. I feel like I've always wanted to carve my own path. So that's kind of like where the quote-unquote rebellion comes from. But I feel like meron pa ring subtleties and na nagsishot pa rin. Hindi kami super close to our siblings. More of, close kami in a way that we love each other, hindi kami nag-aaway, pero hindi kami yung nag-hang out. Mas sila. Mas ako being the true rebel.
Yeah,
Mas,
baka ikaw yung middle child.
Baka nga, hindi lang natin alam. No?
Kaya dami mo ring angst.
Yeah. But I would say, yung youngest namin, mas similar to Jack. If I were to
So you're in your
it.
family, the youngest one is the middle child.
The personality lang, but how we were raised is exactly how you were raised. Hindi lang siya nag-translate into the
mold.
The mold. Yes,
Right,
I would
right.
say. Like, makikita namin na naiinggit pa rin kami dati. Na parang, bakit siya pinapayagan tapos kami hindi? Yung may mga ganyan pa rin. Pag nag-aaway kami, ito yung angst ko. Lalabas ulit.
There's a lot.
Na, whenever, for example, when we were playing cards, like, uso dati yung super trump. And then, kinukuha ng youngest child. The youngest child didn't know what we were playing, pero kinuha agad and then like...
Destroy the game, basically.
Yeah, whatever. Like, destroy the game, destroy the cards, whatever. Nagagalit ako. And then, it's always kasalanan ko. And this was said out front. Ikaw kasi yung eldest. So, ikaw yung dapat makaintindi. So, that's where the angst come from.
It happened years ago. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's just passionate. My passion. No, but it's true though. Like, ikaw yung eldest, you should know better.
But you know what? I also feel like it's a personality thing because now, in the course of this past how many minutes that we've been talking, you are so passionate about it. Whereas, when my siblings talk about these things, we just laugh about it.
No, I mean, I don't, hindi siya mabigat sa akin. But just by looking back na parang, oh nga no, like, that's kind of like where I see sometimes na kung bakit kino-compensate ko with Scotty because it shouldn't be just his fault. Diba? He shouldn't have that burden all to himself. Pero I'm sure a lot of eldest childs out there can relate.
It's just that I talk to my family, it's the opposite. Like, we're super close.
Yeah.
They are not as passionate about it as you are.
I feel like sometimes that it can create angst because these things happen. Parang kasalanan mo palagi. You pass on the blame to
Your siblings.
Your sibling. Diba?
Maybe also because you aren't as close to them, so you don't really get to talk about it and wala kang closure sa system mo. Is it true?
Youngest.
Is it true? I don't know.
No, man. I don't think... I totally, like, from the bottom of my heart, naiintindihan ko kung saan nanggaling yung parents ko. Why it was said that way. Because totoo naman talaga. Because I am a lot of years older than my siblings. I can see... I can see like Sevi, sinisira yung toys ni Scott. And then magagalit si Scotty. Scotty might, never happen, but might push Sevi. Sasabihin talaga natin kay Scotty, it's not right to push. But he destroyed my toys. Yes, Scotty. But kasalanan mo because he doesn't understand yet. But you don't push at all. Siyempre, sa side ni Scotty, I didn't instigate it in the first place. But I get where both sides are. Okay.
We all get it. You've been running on about it for so long.
Tinatanong mo ako eh.
No, my thing is, ano lang, siguro, siguro lang, if your siblings listen to this, ma-realize din nila na, si Aya pala, may hinanakit pala sa akin.
No, wala akong hinanakit sa kanila. Wala talaga. Like, wala talaga. I love my siblings very much.
So funny. Yeah.
It's just what I'm trying to get at. It's just a fact of life. Well, there's no way around it.
Yes, I agree. Shall we end it there before we fight?
So the blessed lang talaga is the youngest. So if you were to reincarnate, wish that next time you will be the youngest. Kasi
but you're happy to be eldest, di ba?
Parang, it's just saying na, oh, I'm happy I went through this. Alam mo yung may failure ka. Let's say, oh, I'm happy I went through the failure of a board exam, ganyan. But parang sinasabi mo, because it made me grow, ganyan. Pero, really,
if you can do it again,
wag ka na lang mag-fail.
I'd rather not do
it. Sa position.
I feel like as a youngest, parang, may trial run na. Like in a new, like for example, let's say we go to a new restaurant and it's always soft opening, right? I feel like it's soft opening when it's the first child because the parents really don't know what they're doing and they're juggling a lot of things and adjusting. And with the middle child, okay, they've got it running already.
Yes.
And with the youngest child, experienced na sila, expert na sila.
Expert na sila o wala na silang
pakialam. Ganun. Yeah. The restaurant is failing and then the youngest child comes along. So love, now that we're gonna have a third baby, youngest, shot na tayo, eldest, middle, youngest. You think the youngest child is gonna be like me?
No, alam mo, when I was growing up, this stuck with me when my parents talked about this. They broke down the people in their lives na were, hindi naman youngest child, but were the favorites of the parents.
Yeah, I'm definitely not the favorite.
Wow! Oh, let's talk about that.
I don't care. I'm fine in my own world.
No,
but I'm definitely not the favorite and I'm okay with that.
Whether it is the eldest, sometimes the eldest naman is the favorite. It's just more, the common thinking is the youngest is the most spoiled, the most binibaby and But yung parents ko, palagi nila kinikwento na yung mga favorites in their lives, in their mga cousins, mga sa family nila, tend to have it hardest when it comes to the later stages.
The real world.
Because the resilience isn't there. Which I believe to be somewhat true.
So it's like you spoil your kids all their lives. They live in a bubble. You give them everything they want. So now when it's time to face the real world where everybody doesn't treat them the way their parents do, then it's harder for them to adjust and adapt.
Yes. Galing mo mag-breakdown ng nasa ko. So, ikaw yung ChatGPT ko. So, complete my sentence.
Wait, so are you trying to say that we shouldn't make this one our favorite? Is that what you're trying to say?
No.
That we should just feed him to the wolves, kind of?
Diba, pag sinespoil tayo, meron tayong mga sense of entitlement na we think that, okay, that's just how the real world operates. Then pagdating natin, it's not. I think I saw this on TikTok about Jordan Peterson. So, ito na naman mga TikTok knowledge. Jordan Peterson, very popular na parang, he said na you should treat your child with the same level of love and care as the real world would give them. But
harsh.
Not too much. Hindi naman like super harsh yung real world, but like meron andun ka sa hindi yung binibaby mo sila. I think that's my perspective going into not just the youngest child, but everyone in the family. Sa akin lang, it's more of like, I really don't care what the personality of the third child will be. It's more of us on what we can do as parents to like help him live up to his full potential.
Sobrang iba ng mindset namin talaga.
Bakit?
Kasi ako, syempre, I care about what the personality will be. Friendly ba? Hindi ba siya friendly? Masaya ba?
I mean, to each your own. Like, whatever there is, it's ina-encourage lang natin that, syempre, hindi naman yung pangit na side of the personality, but whether he's the serious type or the fun type, feeling ko hindi mo na kasi yun to a certain extent.
I think at the top of your head, it's more of how will I be as a father to bring out the best in each child.
Okay, thank you, ChatGPT.
Di ba? Ang galing-galing ko. Bagay tayo.
sige.
Swerte ka talaga sa akin.
Game. Try nga natin.
Pero grabe, sobrang chill nga natin with the third child. Kasi kahit pangalan, wala pa tayo.
Yeah. Actually, we don't have the names yet. So, Sky Fam, try nyo mag-contribute.
It's so funny because
So, are we still going with the S and K?
Yeah. So last Sunday, I went on a live chat because my vlog went out. And then I was asking the people who were on the live chat, like, guys, what do you think we should name the child? And they kept suggesting. And then I kept saying, no. Like, oh, we can't name him that one. That was what we were going to name Sevi. It was supposed to be Sebastian, right? And then we changed it. Then, oh, what about this name? Oh, I can't name him that one because that's the name of my sister's ex. Parang ang daming Vito. So last, wala
pa.
Wala lang name.
Wala pa.
Naubos lahat.
Skywalker. Saging.
Saging na lang yung name niya. Oo.
Let's say, for example, love, si Scotty, si Sevi, and si third one. Si third, kasi wala pang ano. Si Little Cute. Let's say, matanda na sila, maybe teenage years, and kailangan nilang advice na, Mommy, why am I being treated this way when it comes to the hierarchy of their birth order? Ano yung mga masasabi mo?
Ang sabihin ko, ask your dad. Alam mo, hindi ko alam. Ask your dad. Dami niya masabi.
Ang dami niya hinanakit ng tatay mo.
Sabihin ko, alam mo, meron kaming podcast. Pakinggan mo. Hanapin
Naririnig
natin.
mo lahat ng mga hinanakit ng tatay
Nasa
mo.
Spotify, nasa YouTube, nasa Facebook. Choose ka.
I feel like at the end of the day, we as parents, we try our best. But tao lang din tayo. And hindi talaga natin mapaperfect. Whether we try Sevi to be less of a middle child in the sense of the caricature meaning, whether we do what we can to balance it out and stuff, aabot din sila ng panahon na there will be stages in their lives where they won't like us as much.
Sad naman nun.
Kasi hindi tayo magiging perfecto.
Yeah.
But I hope that eventually, as they mature and everything, they would see that we tried our best. And we loved it.
At saka feeling ko, like, we can say a lot about the character of an eldest, middle, and youngest child, but at the end of the day, that's all they are, right? That's like a description of what they are. But everybody is multifaceted, and they have their own personalities, and obviously we can break that mold, right? Like, for example, Skari and Sevi are born and raised in the exact same family, right? Genetics-wise, it's still the two of us, and the same environment, but they're polar opposites. Then when somebody tells me, like, Sevi for sure is going to be the middle child, that's not exactly going to be the case 100% because, we can always break that. We can always change it. And if maging middle child talaga siya, there's only so much you can do. Ganyan talaga ang buhay.
Akala ko sasabihin mo,
lahat.
oh, it's not so bad to be a middle child. Hindi pala, like, para sa kanya.
No, sorry. Because the only thing I hear about middle child is my sister's angst. Sorry.
Really?
Akala ng mga tao hate ko yung mga middle child. Hindi
I mean, across the board, there are these slots that we can put them in, but there's the pros and cons of each of these things and each of these like segments. So at the end of the day, it's just up to us as parents to do what we can to lift them up. And sa kanila din, there's also their side to be as multifaceted as possible and to like break the mold or like play with the pros more than the cons of that scenario.
So guys, if you're listening to this podcast, if umabot kayo sa end, mag-comment naman kayo down below. Kung middle child ba kayo, eldest, or youngest. And let us know ano yung experience niyo na hindi namin nasabi ni Slater.
Yes.
We would love to know what you guys are thinking.
Yes, and stay tuned for the interview of the middle child. So ano yan, love?
So, this is a little icebreaker, deeper talk game that we got for Christmas. Thank you, Mish.
Hindi po namin to binibenta, guys.
Hindi namin binibenta. Pero ngayon na namin nabuksan. And sobrang cute ng mga questions. So, let's choose one to end this episode. The title is Exposed.
So, this whole thing is like creating lasting and more impactful connection. So, this is things you ask each other.
Yeah.
About, mas medyo deep questions.
Yes. To initiate a conversation. So, this one is, what was missing from your childhood? Babalik ulit tayo sa beginning, guys. One more hour pa tayo.
I think na-expound ko na dito. But really, if I were to relive everything, I think everything just fell into place naman talaga. I feel like I am where I need to be right now, and it was because of the things that were missing that made me who I am.
Ganda ng sagot ng Miss Universe. Ako naman, what was missing from my childhood? Love. That's so sad. Love and attention. Mom and Dad, if you're listening. No, just kidding. Man, I don't know. I mean, a lot can be said. I'm sure that when I was growing up, and dami kong complaints. And dami kong complaints talaga. And I can't fault my parents for it now that I'm a parent myself because everybody's just trying their best. And everybody doesn't know what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
walang perfect. So, what was missing from my childhood? Siguro madami. Pero, okay lang. Kasi nga, those things that were missing, I probably compensated for or they compensated for one way or another. And I'm happy to be where
Kasi
I am.
kung wala din tayong missing thing, like, you would end up like not wanting for anything. And where's the fun in that?
Oh, grabe. Ang mature ng answer namin.
Max.